Hey everybody, Chris Renshaw here, and I got another video for you guys. It's been a while since I've done one of these more personal videos. I hope you guys have enjoyed the Gen Con footage that I've done, but it has been a while since Gen Con. I never did a full video of all the loot and stuff that I got, but I've also acquired a few other things since then, so I'd like to quickly kind of go over some of the stuff I've got recently. First up, just by the matter, it's the smallest if it's easy on the stack, which is Tides of Madness by Portal Games. This is a small two-player game. It's a two-player drafting game where there are it's almost like different suits, and you're trying to draft specific suits and get more of a suit than another one than your opponent, but at the same time, there's Cthulhu themed, there's madness tokens, and the more powerful cards give you madness tokens, and if you get too much madness, then you lose by default. So you have to try and mitigate how much madness you get. It's a pretty fun game. My friend Philip and I tried it in the Board Game Geek Hot Games room, and I enjoyed it so much that I went and purchased it the other day. So Tides of Madness by Christian Kurla. I hope I'm saying that right. Next thing, this is actually my first purchase of the convention, of Gen Cons, which is Potion Explosion by Cool Mini or Not. This is a great game where there is, you can see there's a little stack that you put in a bunch of marbles and they roll down into these tracks, and it's almost like Candy Crush or Bejeweled or anything. You remove a ball and then the balls come rolling down. If two colors match up, then those explode and you get those as well, and you can kind of chain reaction. And you're trying to get specific colors to build potions and etc. I have had a chance to play this one too. Really fun game. I really enjoy it. It fits that puzzly element that I enjoy, and it's Cool Mini or Not, so it's great components. So that was I ran to get that as soon as the doors open. Next, we have Tyrants of the Underdark. As you can see, it's still. Some of these we've been so busy getting me into the new studio space here. Haven't had full chance to play a lot of these. Tyrants of the Underdark by Gale Force 9. It's a D&D board game. So you know I'm interested just on the D&D theme alone. It's an area control game that also has a deck building game in it. I'm very intrigued by this. One of my favorite deck building games is Trains, which you might be able to see behind me. And this promises to be very similar to that. Plus, it's got the D&D theme, so I'm very excited to try that out. Then, this one was a weird pick for me. It's another Cool Mini or Not game, Bloodborne, the card game. Now, I know this is based on a video game, and I have not played the video game. In fact, I don't really have any intentions to play the video game, but I sat down, and there's a video of this as well. This is done by Eric Lang, and I sat down and tried this and had so much fun with it, I immediately went and bought it. So it's a card game where you and your opponents are all trying to kill the same creature, but the creature are usually pretty powerful and you will probably end up killing, but you can mitigate things so that maybe you're the only one that survives. And so it's got a lot of take that, which I know a lot of my friends would really enjoy. So I picked it up. Plus, it's an Eric Lang game, and I love his games. So that was where that came in. So next, I've played AEG's Guildhall before, and it was a really fun game. It's a set collection game where you're trying to complete, almost similar to kind of how Tides of Madness, except for here you're trying to get a complete set of cards for different adventuring classes, and then you can use those cards to activate special abilities, etc. It's a very simple, very quick game. Well, they released these in several parts now. So they have these Guildhall Fantasy, they have the Fellowship, the Alliance, and the Coalition. And since I enjoyed the base game so much, I believe Fellowship is a reprint of sort of the original game. I picked up these other two as well. And I've played Coalition and I've played Fellowship. I haven't had a chance to change Alliance. The difference between the three are the classes of characters that are installed. Like, they each have different powers. And the catch being is that when you have all three, you can mix and match to, like, I want a couple classes out of here. I like some of the powers out of here. Well, I have a game, I'll use 3 of these classes and 2 of those classes. So I'm interested to try the Alliance one to see how those work. Right now, Fellowship is kind of leaning to be my favorite, but we'll see how that goes. And then last of the board games that I picked up, and this one, one of the other ones I was looking forward to most. This is probably the one I've played the most also, but that could be because it's real easy. And this is Ice Cool. This is a game. It's from Brain Games, and it is called a box in a box system, where the box unfolds into several, or unpackages into several other boxes that connect together, and then there are these penguin tokens that wobble around, and you can flick them to go into specific areas, and you're trying to get into different rooms to get all the fish of your color before the Paul monitor, because you're supposed to be penguins in a school, catches everybody. Really cool game because you can flick penguins not only straight, but you can jump them if you flick them a certain way, or you can even put a spin on them and get them spinning around it. It's a very chaotic game, and I've definitely been having a blast for it. I think this is marketed as a kid's game, but I've probably had fun with this no matter what the age group. So that's all the board games that I picked up. But those of you that know me know that I'm a very big role player. So one of the things that I did pick up at Gen Con was this. End of the World, Revolted Machines RPG. I have the other 3 books in this series, and I wanted to complete the series. But not only that, this is the book that I've been wanting. Other than the Zombie Apocalypse and this book were the books I wanted the most, because this is, you play yourself in kind of like a Terminator style apocalypse where the machines have taken over, and now you have to fight back or survive in this silicone apocalypse. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So that's the End of the World, Revolt of the Machines. And then I picked this. I didn't pick this up at Gen Con, but I needed to fill out an order. So I also threw in, like I said, I've been picking up the Star Wars RPG rule books. So I managed to pick up this one, Desperate Allies. It's a source book for diplomats. No real reason other than just to help fill in my Star Wars RPG collection. And then I kind of went overboard on the Cypher System. Cypher System, which is done by Numenera. So at Gen Con, I picked up, because we're hoping to play on the Dirtbags of Holding Numenera, I picked up a Cypher chest, which has 3 decks in it, an XP deck, a Cypher deck, and a creature deck, which allows you to make allows you to do character or creatures on the fly, and the Cyphers, which is a big part of Numenera. Helps you make those on the fly. So really awesome cards that I hope really help out in playing Numenera. But in addition to getting that, when I had a chance to sit in on the Instant Adventures with Monty Cook, I loved what they were doing so much that I went ahead and I bought the Cypher System rulebook as well, mainly on the promise of how well they were able to run an adventure pretty quickly. I always like, that's one of the reasons I like the End of the World book too, is it's a really easy to kind of make up on the fly sort of RPG. And based on the experience that I saw at Gen Con, I was really inspired to pick up the Cypher System core rulebook and potentially try doing some one-shots using their kind of the same guiding principles that they used in that panel. And because I was picking up the rule book, at the same time, I also picked up, lastly, Gods of the Fall. This is a rule set, or not a rule set, this is a setting for the Cypher System rule book. It's written by Bruce Cordell, who I actually got a chance to meet real quickly at Gen Con. That was another big reason I picked this up, was the chance to read this and hopefully have him on the show at some point. And I wanted to read and potentially maybe that way I'd be a little bit more knowledgeable when I get a chance to talk to him about kind of where this setting came from. It's a setting where the gods have died, and now there's been this big shattering, which has created potential for new gods to arise. So I've not read any of this yet, so that's kind of based on what I know. I'm very intrigued to figure out what does it mean as a setting? You know, I know the core rule set, and I've had a good chance to browse through the core rule set, but what kind of information do they have in these setting books other than just background information on the world? So there you have it. It's been a very busy month collecting various things. Now that we're here in the new studio, got the new table, it's time to start cracking into some of these games. So check back later, and there should be plenty of reviews on most of these products. Thanks, guys, and I will see you next time.